All right, guys, here's my next video. This is my sample problem number 3 for the week of April 20th through May 1st. It will be very similar to your problem number 3 on the Module 4 assessment problems that I assigned. Okay, here's what my problem says. The cost of 7 calculators is $103.95 at store A. The graph below compares the cost of the calculators at store A with the cost at store B. And then you see my graph, there's an XY axis, and that first steeper graph represents store A. Then the second graph there you see was store B. And I labeled my x-axis there. That's kind of sloppy, but it's supposed to be a number 1, and then I've got a 2 there, and then a 3, and then on my y-axis I label it by 15, 30, and 45, and I'll explain some of that in a minute there. Now, we can kind of find out how much a calculator costs for store A by taking the $103.95 and dividing it by the 7. So when we do that, then I show you the work there, and that comes out, you see there to be $14.85. So what I want to do on my graph there for you is model how much a calculator would cost. So on the x-axis, that's representing my calculators. So when you see the number 1, then if it was graph paper, there'd be like that blue line there, and you'd go up to right below where it was 15 on the y-axis and put your dot. That's why you see a dot there, right below the 15. So then I can find the cost of 2 calculators, right? Because all I have to do is kind of double them. And that's kind of what I did there. And then you see kind of my next dot there. I'm just moving this back so you can see my graph, and I'll highlight it. So when you double that $14.85, you're almost at $30. So 2 then on the x-axis, you'd put your dot right there, and I highlight that in orange. And same thing for 3 calculators, that's going to be almost 45. So I go on the x-axis to 3, and then if it's graph paper, I'd stay on that blue line right below the 45. Then I just kind of connected those to kind of get that, you know, that graph to represent store A. So now it says estimate the cost of 1 calculator at store B and then justify the answer. All right. So now when we're looking at the graph there, okay, for store B, if you go on the x-axis to 1 calculator and you go up till you hit that graph, you can see that you're going to hit the graph way below the $15. So we know that the cost of a calculator for store B is going to be smaller than it is for store A. Now, when you're estimating, I'm just kind of, guesstimating there. I know it's less. I'm saying it's about $7.50. Maybe I should have said a little bit less than that, but I think you kind of get the idea there. So you see how I said approximately 7.5. So I know that's the cost of 1 calculator for store B there. Right now, I can kind of then decide that when I'm comparing those, that the calculator for B will be less than the calculator for A. And that's kind of how I can justify my rationale on that. All right, guys, I hope that helps you, and I will be back with my next video shortly. Have a good one.